Do you believe that there is a God?
Yes, I do believe that there is a God, but the Christian idea of God is God, as it were, sat on a cloud, way above the earth, having nothing to do with humanity. The Christian idea of God is really the God who we meet in Jesus. The Bible teaches that Jesus is really the image of God in human form. So it's very important that when we say yes, there is a God, that we don't people don't misunderstand that. It's not a kind of abstract or strange concept. It's very specific about who Jesus was and what Jesus did.
What started your strong faith in God?
My parents were Christians. They were people of faith. They were part of the church. But as I grew up, as I kind of thought about it harder and in different ways and encountered people with different points of view, I think my own journey of faith took some turns, sometimes away, sometimes back towards faith, and really it was just a process of growth, of growing more understanding, of meeting challenges and trying to work out what faith means in real life. I would say, I'll put it like that. It's not there wasn't a moment when everything changed, but it's really just a slow change.
How can you be so sure that there is a God when he hasn't left any physical evidence?
Well, again, I'm not sure I agree with the question that there's no, as it were, physical evidence for God. In fact, quite the opposite. And the witness of the Christian scriptures, the Bible, is that the world is the physical evidence of God, or the heavens are the physical evidence of God. The universe, creation itself, is kind of evidence for the existence of God. So I think there's an issue to do with kind of premise there, and an understanding of God as a kind of spiritual thing, which doesn't really have any physical kind of implications, but he ought to do something in order to demonstrate his existence, versus the real world, which we know is there, kind of playing for everybody to see. So I'm not sure. The question is an interesting one, and I think it just has some assumptions I'm not sure I agree with.
Thank you, Paul, for your time.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jeremiah Asiama. I'm a 17-year-old male, of course, from Bromley. Now, my dad left my mum and my two other brothers when I was 3 and my other brother was 1 and my other brother was just born. So he left my mum, of course, and my mum had to bring us up all by herself. Life was hard because when I was at school, other people had their dads to pick them up, and sometimes it got to me. I would always ask my mum, how come my friends have dads, and where's my dad? And she always used to get upset, and she said, don't worry, the only dad you have is God. If it's not your friend, if it's not your parents, it's God. So I never understand what she meant, and as growing up, a common thing people used to say to me was, you're bleak or you're dark, and which obviously means I'm too dark. So even my best friends, they would say the same thing to me, and I would smile on the outside, but deep down inside it really hurt. So instead of taking my anger out on people in school, I took my anger out on my brothers and on my mum. Now, first of all, it started off verbally, so I'd swear at my mum, I'd swear at my brothers, don't walk out. But then it got to a stage where my anger was so bad that I had to be almost removed out of my house and I had to live with my dad. I believe in God because he makes way for people. He changes lives. When you're in trouble, he's the one there. He comforts you. After I got kicked out of my dad's house because I started being violent towards him, I didn't know where to go. I slept outside once for a couple hours on the bus, etc. because I didn't know where to go. I didn't feel like I was going to be accepted back into my home, back into my grandma's home. I thought I was the only person. All I could rely on was myself and my anger. And I met a lady called Demi, who was my mum's friend, etc. And she was like, hey Jerry, why don't you come down to church one time? I was just listening to my youth pastor just preach about God. It's that one thing that caught my eye, and I will never forget it. He said, let me think. He said, no matter what you've done in life, no matter how bad you've been, and it was such a coincidence. He was like, no matter what you've done to your parents, no matter what you've done to your family, your brothers, etc., the only person who will never forgive you, the only person who will always forgive you is Jesus. And all you have to do is say, Lord, I need you in my life. I surrender to you. Something in my right hand telling me, you know what, Jerry, just go for it. Like something in my mind just saying, you know what, just go for it. Like there's nothing better than just going for it. So you know what, I'm gonna go for it. And then I felt just so relieved. I could proudly say that I am a believer of Jesus Christ, and that if you put all your trust into Jesus, no matter how bad your background has been, He'll make a way for you. He's the one who wakes you up every morning. He's the one that lets you have peaceful sleeps. He's the one, when you're crossing the road, you don't get hit by the cars. He's the one, He is the way. He's simply the way, and there's no other way I can describe Him. He's just simply awesome.
Hi. Thank you for taking the time. I mean,
Right.
like I did say when I met you at the Buddhist temple, I mean, this interview would be about, the topic about is there a God? So, I mean, yeah, I mean, like I said, please do stop me if you do feel that I'm pushing you, or if there's any questions, that you feel is inappropriate.
Okay.
But, yeah, I mean, the main topic today is, how do you feel about God? I mean, do you believe there is a God?
I believe there is a God, and my version of God is that God is everything around us. It's a metaphor for life, the good in people, happiness.
How do you see Him? What is your kind of
I don't think God is a person sitting in the sky. I think God is a metaphor for everyone around us, for the nature, for the trees.
So you don't think there's a soul being? I mean, just one higher purpose?
Maybe. I'm not saying there isn't.
You're just saying that
I think there isn't. I think God is a metaphor.
Alright, I mean,
for different things in life.
Like I said, obviously, I met you at the Buddhist temple. I mean, yeah, we had a conversation there, and but I mean, obviously, like saying that, doesn't that kind of like, how does that relate to you being at the Buddhist temple? I mean, does that reflect on your personal religion, or
Buddhism is the closest thing religiously to how I feel about God.
So you class Buddhism as a religion and not a way of life?
Yes and no. Yes and no.
Why is that?
It's classed as a religion, but it's not. There's nothing.
It's not recognised as a religion as such as Christianity.
There's no one God. There's no. It's just all about the self.
I mean,
and this teaching's about respect, and it's a way of life.
Yes, I mean, like, talk to me a bit about it. I mean, how do you? I mean, like, Christians go to church and they have like the statues of like, who they're there for, kind of thing. I mean, they have like, pictures of the Virgin Mary, Jesus. They pray to God. I mean, how does the Buddhist work? I mean,
it's not just going there on a Sunday. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's our whole life. In everything we do, there's an aspect of Buddhism. Buddhism
is meditation. The first thing that comes to mind is like,
that's to do with the self.
So I mean, is that a form of practice that you do? I mean, is that something that people kind of just, Buddhists meditate as well? I mean, is it right? Is it wrong? I mean,
a lot of people meditate, not just Buddhists. I've got loads of friends who aren't Buddhists and they all meditate.
What's the
purpose? It's just about the self. It's about the body's your temple. A lot of religions are really similar, and yet different at the same time. They're all versions of the same truth. They're everywhere. They're all different countries and ideologies, representation and view of life. As in Buddhism, we don't have many rules. We do have rules, obviously, but they're more for ourselves.
So it's all
Rather
about
than for
self-discipline and
It's about
you know
self-discipline,
self-recognition.
yeah, exactly.
All right. I mean,
Yeah.
well, talking about you know yourself as a person. I mean, how did you kind of like you know get into Buddhism? I mean, was it your own choice?
I was originally a Christian. I was raised Catholic. I was baptised.
Okay, so your
Had
family.
my Holy Communion yet, my family. And I found out as I grew older, I saw everything from my own perspective, and I just felt that this was the closest thing to what I believed in.
I mean, so how did you kind of like not get dragged into? I mean, how did you kind of like look into it? How did you kind of find this?
Everything, research, books, my friends.
So I mean, what kind of like you know, obviously, like you say that you grew up as a Christian. So I mean, your family. I mean, are they? Is there different religions within your family? Was there any like inspirations? Like,
My
you know,
dad's Buddhist and my mum's side are Christian.
how does he approach these kind of things?
Oh,
Like, what did-
he's very religious. Very religious. Not to an extent.
okay, so
Goes to the temple. He goes to obviously on holidays. He goes to the temple, visit, pray for family, pray for good luck. Living your life, going to heaven or hell. I think hell is living your life unhappy.
I mean, like I said, obviously the whole image of heaven and hell was created by there being a higher purpose God. So I mean, if you don't believe in a God, or you know him being as a like actual figure, I mean, how do you relate to heaven and hell? I mean, how do you still come to the conclusion there's
Well,
a
then heaven and hell. So let's say heaven's positive, yeah? Heaven's good, yeah?
Yep.
And hell's bad. That's all you need to take, good and bad.
So you're saying
Right
it
and
doesn't
wrong,
don't
yin
actually
and
associate
yang.
heaven and hell with you know with Christianity or a certain religion.
Exactly. It's just that everything's a metaphor. It's good and bad. It's like heaven. If you for example, if I go out the street and help an old lady up, like bringing her shopping into her house, that's heaven. There's a sense of goodness. However, if I just walk past and see her struggling, there's a sense of hell there.
So you're saying it's life is about you know making the right decision.
Life is about
So-
balance and coming to terms with yourself and understanding what it takes to make you happy.
Rather than
Yeah,
actually
people-
focusing on these kind of people, like you should see the message.
Exactly. It's all about the message and how you interpret it. At the end of the day, it's a way to live your life.
All right.
And if you can choose the right way to live your life, you're sorted.
Thank you very much, mate.
Okay, thank
It's very
you.
useful.